A federal judge has ruled that stop and frisk in New York City is unconstitutional. However, this judge does not want to get rid of stop and frisk. She would like to reform it. So let me give you the details on her ruling. Now, this is Judge Shira Scheindlin, and she basically laid out the reasons why she felt that it was unconstitutional. She said that it was a policy of indirect racial profiling. It had a human toll of unconstitutional stops and also a demeaning and humiliating experience, specifically for minorities, as you guys are well aware of. Now, the reason why we say that is because the vast majority of the stops, about 90%, were done on minorities, and cops were wrong 88% of the time in terms of finding these people doing something illegal, carrying a weapon, having drugs on them, anything. Most of the time they were innocent. So it was a huge problem. Now, as to the constitutionality of stop and frisk, she says the following. The stops demonstrated a widespread disregard for the Fourth Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures by the government, as well as the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause.
So, number one, you're supposed to have a reason to stop and search someone. And Ray Kelly, who's the police commissioner in New York City, and Bloomberg, who's the mayor, were like, nah, I don't think so. I think we'll just ignore the Constitution. And 14th Amendment involves due process and saying, hey, wait a minute, you got to treat everybody the same here. About 50% of the population of New York is blacks and Latinos, but they are being disproportionately stopped, as Anna referred to, massively disproportionately. So you're not giving them due process. You're assuming that minorities are more likely to be guilty than white people are. And in fact, Bloomberg kind of confirmed what she was saying. In an interview on the radio about a month ago, he said, if anything, we're stopping minorities too little. And the problem is blacks and Latinos are the ones committing crimes, so we have to stop them, and we're going to stop them. They're probably saying, yes, it's definitely racial.
What's amazing is he was making these broad generalizations about an entire group of people, when at the same time, 88% of the time, they were wrong. They were wrong. These people were innocent. Now, when it comes to the racist aspect of it, the judge says blacks are likely targeted for stops based on a lesser degree of objectively founded suspicion than whites. Now, Democracy Now! Did a really great video where they went around New York City and they started talking to, people that had been stopped and frisked. And here's what they had to say. Really telling video. Let's take a look.
This is the entrance where we come in and where my son also come in. I have to come to my bedroom window, which is on the inside of the courtyard, to make sure that he gets past safely. To run this way to come to my kitchen window, which is up there, to make sure that he gets through this way safely. Then go to my hall door, my house door, to make sure that he gets upstairs without being stopped and harassed by police.
You can't even walk here, you gotta walk on eggshells.
And it's not a pleasant experience to go through. And it's embarrassing when you have people over, they call it Fort Knox, and nobody wants to come and visit you. Your family doesn't even want you to live here.
So when we see police, we don't like them. We don't want to talk to you because all we seen is you abusing us.
People here pay rent, we're taxpayers, we work hard, and we deserve some kind of respect and consideration from New York's finest.
And you have a lot of innocent bystanders and people that work and have a 9 to 5 that they feel that they're being harassed. And it's not fair. Nobody wants to come home and get up and go to work and have to go through that.
Now, God bless New York City Civil Liberties Union, I should say, for doing that video, for Democracy Now!, for running that video, because I think it's awesomely telling. Number one, people saying, look, we're the taxpayers. We're paying basically the salaries of these cops, and then they come and harass us. And then the second part that I found so telling was when the guy said, but why would I trust the cops now? Because the cops, and as the First Lady explained, she's not looking out for criminals. They're on the lookout because they're worried about the cops.
And think about that for a second, because they literally stop and frisk you. That's the name of the law. I mean, think about how violated you would feel after putting in a long day of work, trying to get back to your home or trying to get to work and being stopped by a cop with absolutely no probable cause. There's no reason for them to believe that you're doing anything wrong except for the fact that you are a person of color. So they're going to stop you because, according to Mayor Bloomberg, all of the crime is or most of the crime is committed by blacks and Latinos.
Now, Judge Shira Scheindlin also said, now this might be a valid comparison if the people stopped were criminals, referring to the idea that, well, as Bloomberg is saying, well, I mean, it's blacks and Latinos doing the crime. But she says, to the contrary, nearly 90% of the people stopped are released without the officer finding any basis for a summons or arrest. Now imagine if on Wall Street, where, by the way, resides the largest criminals in American history, you got criminals that they're stopping and frisking here, you put all their robberies, grand theft, whatever you want to do, put it all together. It won't equal 1% of the billions of dollars that the Wall Street bankers have removed from the American taxpayers. And by the way, they've been fined billions of dollars, and that's a small percentage of the crimes that they have done. Do they stop and frisk on Wall Street? Imagine if on Wall Street the cops kept constantly harassing them. Up against the wall, JP Morgan, Citibank, up against the wall. And they frisked them every day. And they said, well, 90% of you, it turns out, aren't guilty. 10% of you had cocaine on you, whatever else it might be. Do you know the holy hell that would rise? Mm-hmm. They would never do that because they're too powerful. So the mighty New York City Police Department, what do? They pick on the powerless. Very classy. One more thing from Judge Shineland that I thought was really telling. She said, targeting young black and Hispanic men for stops based on alleged criminal conduct of other young black or Hispanic men violates bedrock principles of equality. That is such a great part of her 195-page decision in this case, which looked at all of the evidence, all of the numbers, and came to this conclusion. And what she's saying is, Mayor Bloomberg, you can't tell me that blacks and Latinos committed crime in New York, and hence you're going to then victimize other blacks and Latinos by your nonstop searches that you know don't work 90% of the time. Yeah. Now, of course, not every search is going to work. They're not going to have anywhere near 100% ratio. But the numbers are overwhelming in the opposite direction.
Right. So now the question is, why is it that the judge was unwilling to get rid of this law in the first place? Like, she wants to reform it, but how do you reform stop and frisk? I mean, don't we already have laws on the books that protect cops that do want to do searches based on probable cause? Because that's the real issue here. There's no probable cause. I mean, some cops might argue, well, I saw a bulge in the person's pants. Right? But that could be a wallet. That could be anything. And I know that sounded really funny, but you guys know what I mean.
No, I know. Yeah. And she talked about the bulges in the decision.
Right.
But she's right. Like, if you're doing actual police work, you don't have a problem anyway. You got probable cause. You got a reason to suspect someone. It's no problem at all. So understand that these stop and frisk are when you don't have probable cause.
Exactly.
Okay? So now when they asked Ray Kelly about that, they say, look, even some of your police officers say that you make them stop people even if they have no suspicion whatsoever because they got a quota. He says, quota? No, it's not a quota. Listen to what he said.
Isn't it also cops being asked to bring their numbers up on the amount of people they stop?
No.
There are no quotas?
No, there are no quotas. There are productivity goals like there are in any business, just like in this business right here. Right here on MSNBC, I assume there are productivity goals. So
they're not quotas. They're productivity goals.
I remember while this case was happening and we were reporting on stop and frisk and you know, this situation, that was an argument that was made over and over again. It was hilarious because the higher-ups in the police department kept trying to defend it by saying, well, you know, these police officers are so lazy. They use the word lazy as a justification for the stop and frisk policy, for the quotas. I mean, it's terrible. You're basically having the cops go out and carry this out, and then at the same time, you're calling them lazy.
Yeah, so Ray Kelly, police commissioner, is the biggest protector of the banks, and he gets a ton of perks from the banks. And he crushed Occupy, and gleefully so, and then turns around and crushes his own citizenry. 52% of New York City's blacks and Latinos, wholesale discrimination of them, and done on an unconstitutional way. He doesn't give a damn. The next mayor of New York should fire Ray Kelly so quick, should spin their heads around. Now, I had somebody tell me today, but Ray Kelly's popular. You can't fire him. Wrong again, Bob. If I was mayor of New York City, the very first thing I'd be like, hey, Ray, I'm going to turn in your badge and get the fuck out of my office, okay? But wait, no, my bad. Don't leave the office yet. I got to stop and frisk you, okay? and I'd like do the whole thing, and I'd get somebody in there to go all the way.
Yeah,
and be like,
there's a very small bulge in your pants. I gotta check that out.
And then after he's not police commissioner, he better not stay in New York City, because I'd assign a personal officer to stop and frisk him every single day. Okay? What? If you don't have anything to hide, I guess you don't have to worry. And then I'd stop and frisk everybody he knows, family, friends, whatever. No, it's okay to you when you do it to our family and friends. It's not okay if we do it to your family and friends, right? No, Ray Kelly should be fired immediately, but of course Bloomberg won't fire him because Bloomberg's the one who put him up to it in the first place.